It's mad love. Mad love. Mad love. Yep. Yo. L. O. To B.
How is everybody? How is everybody? How is everybody? Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to see all of you today. You know, I always come with some energy. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on another episode of Talk with Gina. As I said, I'm excited. I can't wait for my guests to come on and impart some knowledge to you. I tell you, you know, what's happening right now is there's a whole lot of things happening in the world as far as disease, as far as people being afflicted with different things. And so we're going to talk today. We have the Master Herbalist on, Patrick Delves, and he's going to share some knowledge with all of you. You know, there are some numbers according to the American Cancer Society that lists cancer facts and figures. So it's guesstimated in 2022, the estimated numbers of cancer cases is 1.9 million. And of that, 609,360 deaths. It's real out here. It's real. And so I'm going to bring Patrick on right now, Master Herbalist Patrick Delves, and he's going to talk about it. Now, I did have him on in a previous show, and he talked about his survival story. So I encourage all of you to go to the previous episode where we talked about diabetes and hypertension, and you'll be able to hear about his story. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Patrick on, and he's going to share some great information. Patrick's so busy. Up to the last minute, Patrick and I were trying to get things together, right, Patrick?
Yes.
Trying to get it all together. And check it out. I know people are probably saying, Gina, you look dark, because I don't have all my lights. So give me a moment. Here's Patrick. See, that's what happens when you're live, Patrick. You know what I mean? And they say the best laid plans. Yeah. So I'm not going to take up any time. We're going to get right into cancer. We're going to talk about this cancer. I'm going to let you guide it as far as which one you want to talk about. I know we talked about colorectal cancer. So I'm going to let you guide right now. Okay. So everyone, Patrick Delves, the infamous Patrick Delves. Here we go.
Yeah. But you rightfully said cancer is on the rise.
Yes.
And it's on the rise around a lot of Caribbean people too, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You know, the numbers, and not to cut you, I just want to say this, that the numbers that I just mentioned, that's just the U.S. alone. Doesn't have anything to do with the Caribbean, you know, with South America. It don't have anything to do with anything else other than the U.S. So you see it's serious.
Well, 600 over 500,000 people die every year in America from cancer. Yeah. And in my country, they went to the list morning. There was someone from was asking why is cancer so prevalent in Grenada? Yeah. Because we lost about 300 and more people in Grenada to cancer in 2021 alone. And Grenada is a very small country, only 133 square miles, 90,000 people. And we lost almost like 300, less than 320, but at least around that area, or number. And the numbers are getting higher every year. Yeah. When I went to Trinidad and Tobago with a cancer patient who had lung cancer years ago, there was a doctor called Dr. Hess Benjamin. He is a oncologist. And when I took Ernest Marshall there because he had lung cancer, the cancer went to the brain. And we went to see Dr. Hess Benjamin. We were turned on to him by a sister called Marianne Sion, who runs Central Medical Lab in Trinidad and Tobago. And we got there the night to see that particular doctor. The amount of people that was there from the Caribbean countries with cancer to see Dr. Hess Benjamin, because he does radiation, yeah? There was people from Trinidad and Tobago, local people. There was people from St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, Antigua. Flock, that man plays. At 7 o'clock, at 7 p.m., there was over 50 people to see Dr. Hes Benjamin. So I can tell you. And that was in 2003. Yeah. Now, the cancer is more prevalent now. So 1 in every 3 households, one person in every 3 households will come down with cancer. Somebody who knows somebody else.
Yeah.
Remember, know they have cancer. My sister died from breast cancer. Yeah. She was cancer free. After 5 years doing natural stuff, she was cancer free. And she went back and do the same exact things, and the cancer came back. Yeah. I have another sister who had uterine cancer. They removed her uterus. She's still living. And I have another sister with my twins, and become a twin. My twin sister have thyroid cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, she's still living because I'm treating her. Then I have another sister who had breast cancer. She's now cancer free after 8 years. Although she took chemotherapy in the beginning, but her cancer came back. And then we decided to put her on a plant-based diet. Yeah.
Okay.
And now she's cancer free after 8 years. You know, so there are different forms of cancer or different types of it. And there's over 3,000 different types of cancers too. But the most prevalent cancer is the carcinoma cancers. They are the cancers of hollow areas. So you have squamous carcinoma. There are different kind of cancers. So you have the uterine cancer. That's a carcinoma cancer. You have stomach cancer. That's a carcinoma cancer. Then you have the colorectal cancer. That's a carcinoma cancer also.
Right.
They're all carcinomas. They're all deadly, but in all the cancers, that type of cancer is the less deadliest in all of them. Yeah?
Right.
And you have the sarcomas, and they're difficult to repair. When you have that one, we call it popcorn cancer cells because they grow pretty fast. As you kill them, they come back.
Wow.
And a lot of seem to get those. Childhood cancers, that a lot of kids between the age of 11 and 18, they get sarcomas. So sarcoma is the cancer of the cartilage. So you had a 5-year-old who just died from that. 5-year-old. That's so her leg was big. She died eventually. Although she did chemotherapy. And then you have the leukemias, the cancers of the blood. They're what we call environmental cancer or cancers from genetics. So you have what we call acute lymphocytic leukemia. Then you have acute myeloid leukemia. They give them. Then you have one called chronic myelolytic leukemia. It's a lot. There's 4 of them. And then you have lymphoma. Then you have non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Then you have lymphoma. So those are more cancers of the cells or the blood, except lymphoma. They're not really tumor-forming cancers, and they are more difficult to repair because though they are coming from the bone marrow. So you have all the myelomas, cancer of the bones. You have the melanoma, that's what Bob Marley had. That's cancer of the skin. Those are more aggressive cancers. Then you have the triple negative breast cancer in women. That's also aggressive.
Wow.
So when a woman gets triple negative breast cancer from the BRCA gene, it is much more difficult to fix that. She got to take chemo for life, and after a while, the cancer gets used to the chemotherapy. They send her back home to die in hospice. So we have to look and see what is causing us to get cancers. Because cancer is a preventable disease, you know. You can prevent it. You know, but a lot of people don't know how to prevent cancer. So that's the reason why the doctors are telling us today that, you know, it's genetics. If you have it in your family, yes, it is. So if your family have it, you know, if your mother had it, your father had it, your uncle had it, your aunt have it, it's a possibility that you can get that type of cancer, any form of cancer, because it is in your genes. But you can prevent it if you can, you know, deter from what they were doing.
Right. Yes.
So,
no, I understand.
So cancer is a preventable disease. And now we have pancreatic cancer now is on the rise. A lot of people seem to have that. And when we inside here every day, I could tell you the amount of people is coming in here with cancer who did chemotherapy and still doing it. It's amazing.
Wow.
And 90% of them is from the Caribbean countries.
So
Amazing.
they're doing chemo. You say that they were diagnosed with the cancer. They did chemo, and you're saying that they're on it long term.
Yeah. Some people on chemo, like a lady came in here 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
She's on, she have what we call a sarcoma cancer. So her legs are very big because apparently that cancer gets into her lymphatic system already. Right? So, because sarcoma is a very terrible cancer to repair. She did chemotherapy for the first 2 years. Then they see cancer free. Then the cancer came back again. She did more chemotherapy. This is the third time it's coming back.
Wow.
See?
Wow.
I know it's in her lung, it's in her liver, and her legs are very big. It's very hard to fix people like that. It's difficult because the cancer is all it's all over in the organ system. And that's why I'm trying to educate people about cancer. Don't get it. It's easier to prevent it than to treat it. Because the chemotherapies are poison anyway. That's common sense. And the average doctor, the average oncologist, he don't know how to take your cells and make your cell go back to the resting place. So the cancer dies. Because he don't know how to prevent angiogenesis. That's why the medical system can't fix cancer. They can treat you, but they can't cure you. And then, secondly, they're going to give you a poison, which is a chemotherapy, that kill good and bad, and they want to kill a toxic disease like chemotherapy with a toxic drug, a toxic disease like cancer with a toxic drug called chemotherapy.
But isn't this? Go ahead.
Then they come and give you either surgery, they remove the part where the cancer is at,
right?
So they take a piece of your colon, or they might cut your breast off, or they might take off a lung or one kidney if you have a cancer there. But the cancer is still there. They're only removing the part of the body that was cancerous. But the cancer is still in the system. And that's the reason why they have to give you chemotherapy, because when they cut your breast off, for instance, or they remove your kidney, for instance, remove your uterus, for instance, how come they still have to come and give you chemotherapy? That means it wasn't cured. I mean, the cancer is there.
Exactly.
Chemotherapy, that's common sense. So exactly. The fact that when they remove the uterus or the cervix or part of the colon or even the part of one of the lung or the kidney, they know for a fact, or the breast, they know for a fact the cancer didn't go anywhere. It's still there. So they cut off your stuff. That's another way. The next way is called radiation. And you hear, any doctor will tell you, too much radiation is no good for you. It give you cancers. So we have to look at electromagnetic fields. We have to look at standing in front of microwave ovens. We have to look at taking too much X-rays and too much CT scans. They all have radiation. And they all are culprits to cancer. Long term. Yeah? Yes. So how come you're going to give me radiation to fix my cancer when you know for a fact that radiation causes cancer?
No, I mean, but Patrick, you make a very good point. I mean, even when you get X-rays, even when you get dental X-rays, I know that sometimes they just put it over your top here, but they don't cover your thyroid. So if I have to get my X-rays, dental X-rays, I make sure that flap is there, so it covers my thyroid. But a lot of people don't realize that. Yep.
And then the same radiation they give you for cancer cause you to get a secondary cancer. So the radiation I might give you for cancer somewhere, it might shrink that tumor in the lung, but it might send the cancer in your bones, on your shoulder, on your spine, like the brother Ernest Marshall. After Dr. Hess Benjamin treated him, he went into Trinidad walking, and in 3 weeks, taking the same radiation from Dr. Hess Benjamin, he came back in a wheelchair because the cancer went to his spine and in his bones. You see what I'm saying? So they have to look at other ways in the medical system beside chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation, because that's all they know. Now they're doing what we call immunotherapy. That's a little bit more better, whereby they're taking out your cells, and they're having your cells go back in to fight the cancer cells, because that's what the cells does anyway. You see, and that's what we're trying to teach them all the time. But now they're coming back to always, that to teach them that the cells in your body kill cancer cells. You see, because a woman who have what we call cervical dysplasia,
Okay.
if she don't have the HPV virus, the human papillomavirus, a lot of women seem to have that. If the woman go to a gynecologist and she do a pap smear, and the pap smear come back abnormal, meaning that she have cervical dysplasia, but she don't have HPV,
right,
or the virus.
Right.
Now she don't know better, so the doctor might go and do a cone biopsy for that particular woman to see if she have cancer. But it is a possibility 90% of the time that woman is lacking in folate acid. So a lacking of folate acid in a woman's cervix could cause the woman to get cervical dysplasia, meaning the cells change.
Right.
Cancerous yet, but it's a sick cell. So the doctors don't know better because they're not dealing with nutrition. So what I do is, if the woman don't have the HPV virus, I give the woman 2,000 to 3,000 micrograms of folic acid, and she go back to the guy, and the guy said, "What happened?" She said, "Because I took some folic acid." Because folic acid deals with cell division in the cervix, and if there is not enough folic acid in the cervix, then the cells don't divide. You see what I'm saying? So they become sick.
Wow. Wow. So then in other words, there could have been some unnecessary procedure that would have been that the woman would have gone through, because they're thinking something else, right?
Cone biopsy, do a cone biopsy, not knowing that she only has cervical dysplasia because she's just lacking in folate acid in the cervix. You see, so all those are things that women have to learn, and then we have to learn to prevent breast cancer. We have to learn to prevent all these type of cancers, because number one, smoking is one of the culprits of cancers. Smoking of cigarettes, radon. Cigarettes have 63 or more carcinogens, and even secondhand smoke. Somebody smoke and you inhale the smoke, you might get cancer faster than them. That's one culprit. Second culprit is alcohol. Because my sister got breast cancer from alcohol. Lots of women don't even know that. There's a chemicals in this alcohol that contribute to women getting breast cancer also. Not BRCA, but could be HER or PR or DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ. Yeah? And then you have overweight people too. Overweight and have all these fat in the adipose tissues. These conditions or these habits that a lot of us have, it affects our cells on a regular basis. And if the cancer cell get into the body and it goes to the weakest link in your body, that's where it goes, you know.
Yeah.
That's why we deal with what we call tonification and stimulation. So when I tonify your organs and they get strong and I stimulate them, any sickness coming into that organ, that sickness goes away because the organ is strong to chuck it off. But if the organs are weak and they're not strong enough, when that cancer come in, he goes straight into that organ that is weak, because he goes to the weakest link and he develop a colony there. That's where it works, you know. And then again, people don't clean no more. We don't take no cleansing, and you know, like how the older days, the elderly used to give us clay to eat.
Right. Nasty clay, right. Yeah.
Clay, bentonite clay from the volcanoes are important to fight cancers. The bentonite clay that come from the volcanoes. But we don't use it, but companies taking that now and sell it. So it's all about prevention. I just prevent. I don't want to get a cancer, because the cancer, when you have the cancer, is more difficult to repair. Much more difficult. And especially if the cancer is in an organ. So what I want to do today is talk about the electron transport system. Yeah? So let's talk about that, right? Now,
okay.
You have cells, yeah? So these are cells, right?
Yes.
And each cell have to go into different places to get you to keep you healthy. So let's say this is a lung cell. Yeah?
Yes.
This lung cell supposed to go into your lung to keep you breathing. That's what it does. This is the liver cell. This liver cell is supposed to go into the liver to help the corpus cells and keep the enzyme, the ALT, AST, alkaline phosphatase healthy, so that they can prevent diseases. He goes into your liver. This cell, yeah, is the colon cell. And he goes into the colon or the or the small intestine called the lower burner to keep you well. Now, they all have a system called an electron transport system to transport. So this is the electron transport system. So he is now transporting these cells, yeah, to go into different places so they can do the job for you and I. That's common sense. I'm not a doctor, you know, but I have common sense. Yeah.
Right.
When you eat lots of foods that have carcinogens, hot dogs, spam, barbecue, bacon, alcohol, too much of these foods cause free radicals, which is a molecule. Now, free radicals are normal because we get them from food metabolism. But they have to be at a certain number. So say you're supposed to have 50 free radicals, yeah? And you have 200 of them. What they do is they come and they look at your transport system and they steal one, boom, and he gone. The bad guy steals him. He steals him, boom, second one, he gone. The more he steals, the more electron he steals, is the more impaired your body become. You follow me? And then cancer develops there. So if, for instance, the electron transport system is moving a cell to go to your lung, and the free radical come, and he take that cell that's supposed to be in your lung, and he get it to go into your liver. It is not a liver cell. He's a lung cell to keep you breathing. What is he doing in your liver? Because he got lost. You see what I'm saying? He was stolen by a free radical. Yeah. So if I give you Gina, I said, Gina, you working in a company.
Right.
The company said, Gina, I'm gonna you're the manager. I'm gonna give Patrick, who's you're gonna deliver a message to 550 Wall Street. Yeah. And you give me an envelope and say, Patrick, I want you to go and deliver this message to 550 Wall Street. I go on Wall Street and I looking for 550, I can't 550, and I go to 555.
The analogies, everyone, the analogies. I love it.
The message get lost.
Right.
It's not supposed to be in 555. It's supposed to be in 550.
Right.
You understand? So once the cell become lost and got into your liver, he's not a liver cell. He's a lung cell. So your liver says, yo, what you doing here, man? You're not a liver cell. You're supposed to go into the lung to keep the lung breathing. And he said, okay, I am a rebel stolen by a free radical. And because I am lost, I am going to disrupt the function of you, the liver, by affecting your corpus cells and affecting your enzyme function and affecting your bilirubin. And then he disrupts the function of your liver. And then all of a sudden, all your good cells from the liver start going bad because no, you don't have no protection because this cell is lost. He's lost.
Went to 555, right. That
There
cell
you go,
went to
man.
555 Wall Street.
There you go. And that's the reason why I love doctors like Dr. Budwig. I love doctors like Dr. Mitchell Gaynor. They're oncologists, but they're smart. They have common sense. Dr. Budwig said, and he's a big doctor, he said, if the medical system can get the cells that was lost to go back to the resting place, they will fix cancer.
Wow.
And they can't get it yet because there's no how. So their choice is just chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. Because that's what they were taught. So we know for a fact that there are plants on this earth, that can shrink tumors, shrinking ability, because the medical system, man, he go into a herb called cisplatin,
Mm-hmm.
or periwinkle. And periwinkle have 88 chemicals. And he, the medical man, take out the 2 chemicals, gabapentin and cisplatin from that particular plant. And he go into a lab and make a drug called cisplatin. And he goes into another herb called YEWU. And he remove the chemicals from that plant.
Mm-hmm.
And he give you a drug called Taxol for cancer, for breast cancer. That's what he gives you, Taxol. The problem with the man is when he remove the 2 chemicals that's good for cancer, he leave the other 86 chemicals in the plant. What I did, I keep all the 86 chemicals in the periwinkle plant. Because there's 2 chemicals that he removed to make his drug called cisplatin, so you can patent it. Yeah, he caused you to get a side effect because these 2 chemicals in that plant can fix cancer, can kill cancer cells, but they can cause you to lose cells in your stomach and lose your appetite. But the other 86 chemicals in that plant, if they're used together, the 2 chemicals will kill the cancer cells. But the other 86 chemicals in that particular plant will prevent these 2 other chemicals from giving you the side effect. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, is everybody hearing what Patrick is saying? This is wow. I mean, you know, there's a saying that says knowledge is power, but you know what? When you know, that's applied knowledge. When you apply that knowledge, that is what is power. Wow.
Knowledge is power, and education is the key.
Yes.
And that's the reason why you see I come on your show and I go and do my program, because we need to educate our people, man.
Yes.
Because cancer is killing us. And let me tell you something. Black women, black men, prostate cancer, black women, breast cancer. Prevalent. Yeah. And they don't give you first preference. You understand? And it wasn't CNN the other day. A black sister came and said, in the black community with people with cancers, the black sister or the brother do not get that first preference in terms of treatment. And it's reality. It's just like kidney disease or kidney failure. The dialysis center is full of our people, black people. Alabama have the most dialysis treatment in America. Baltimore is not far behind. New York is picking up. And the 90% of the people doing dialysis is our people, black people.
That's real.
We own the dialysis center, but we get the disease. It is the exact principle with cancer. It is prevalent. And we are the ones who are dying faster. So
we're making money. We're making money for them.
Well, it's a business, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a business, of course. But where are the dialysis centers located? What are the areas?
And then again, we are not eating the foods that is in our environment. We are eating somebody else's foods. So they come into your neighborhood and they give you all the Chinese food with all the soy sauce. And all these food have carcinogens and the MSG.
Yes.
We eat them. But we cannot go into Chinatown and open a roti store. They don't go buy from us. You see what I'm saying to you?
No. Not only that, Patrick, but they don't even eat the Chinese food. The Asians don't eat the Chinese food in the inner city areas. They do not.
That's what I'm trying to tell people every day. But because we have to re-educate ourselves in terms of our diet, because we were taught by Michael Tierra that you must eat the food that is in your environment because it corresponds to your bloodstream. That's the reason why you have to use the herbs in your environment also, because it corresponds to your bloodstream. That's number one. Number two, if you keep on eating another man's diet, it's common sense. You're going to get the next man's disease. It's common sense. And that's the reason why now cancer is so prevalent in the Caribbean countries. Trinidad is like America. Trinidad full of all the restaurants over here, the Popeyes, the White Castles, the McDonald's,
the Burger King.
Trinidad full of that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and we're not eating the food in season. We still good in the Caribbean countries because we still have oranges, tangerines, grapefruits, lime,
all of that. Right.
Yeah, and when the season comes, they're gone. So you must eat your food in season. You see? And again, people are not eating the foods that can prevent cancers. They're eating the food that have a lot of carcinogen and they don't clean it no more. People eating in the nighttime. When you're supposed to be sleeping in the nighttime, you eat them because your body only regenerates when you are sleeping, Gina.
Yeah, it's
Your
true.
body don't regenerate when you're walking around all day. You're
That's
walking
right.
all day. That's why God says to till the ground during the day. And in the night, He created sleep. So between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m., your endocrine glands, the pancreas, the pituitary, the adrenals, all of them regenerated. Yeah? But it don't need you to have no food sitting in the triple burner or in the lower burner called the intestines. Otherwise, you won't get sick eventually. Between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning, your liver start to regenerate. Yeah? Between 3 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. in the morning, your kidney start picking up acids from the tissues. And in the morning, you must do what? You must do what, Gina? When you get up in the morning, you must what?
Well, you got to pee.
Pee.
I'm a student.
And
I'm a student.
once you take that urine and you put that urine on a strip, that urine is supposed to be 5.0 to 6.5 in the morning because the kidney picks up all the acid from the tissues. So you must have an acidic urine in the morning. But between the hours of 1 and 5 and 10, you're supposed to have an alkaline urine. So people are doing it the wrong way. Plus, eating the food in an incompatible way. Rice and peas, rice and fish, chicken in one plate with macaroni and cheese, with gravy and a piece of rice.
Potato salad.
A small amount of vegetable.
I know we have to do a show on that, Patrick, in terms of food compatibility. We must do a show on that because it's really, but that's why when the doctors will say, you want to take your first urine, if you purchase the strips, that have those strips and you take your first urine, because that's what's going to tell you what's going on with your body. If you wait to the latter part of the day, you're going to get a false reading, so to speak, in terms of what's going on. So it's that first urine that's so important.
Yes. And again, you see, I do tongue diagnosis. So I can look at your tongue and tell you what's happening. I can tell you if you have a messed up liver from your tongue. I can tell you if you have lots of acid in your stomach from your tongue. I can tell you if you have a messed up spleen from looking at the tongue, side of the tongue. And I could look at your, I could take a we call a pulse, yeah?
The pulse.
So the medical system they only do one pulse.
Right.
I do 7 pulse. I do weak pulse, hard pulse, wiggle pulse, jiggle pulse, and I could tell you what's going on inside your system. You know what I'm saying? You are taught different than the medical system, you see?
Yeah.
So if we want to prevent cancer, we have to educate our people. Otherwise, cancer going to take over the whole world, which it is already. Because the WHO that said, WHO, not me, it said 26 to 28% of people in 2016 died from cancer. The world population, and that's what 2016, yeah? Now it is more prevalent. And now you're having cancers now that is so difficult to repair, like leukemia, myeloid, acute myeloid leukemia, difficult to repair. That's your bone marrow. Non-Hodgkin lymphoma, difficult to repair. Pancreatic cancer, difficult to repair. Colorectal cancer, difficult to repair. Why? Because the colorectal cancer is inside here. The sewage system. And when the cancer goes into the sewage system, because you have waste matter coming out all the time, because that's a lower burner. That's a lower burner. And the lower burner is part of the sewage system. And in the middle called the small intestines, that's a lower burner too, because he absorbs. Right. Eliminates. You see? So if you don't have good elimination, and if you don't have good absorption from the small intestines, the lower burner, and if you don't have good digestion from the middle burner called the stomach and the pancreas, and you have waste sitting inside here, you're going to get colorectal cancer. If you are prone, because that is on the rise. We had 8 came in here last week, and 5 had colorectal cancer. 5 of them. They all were in a bag except one of them. One have a bag in the transverse colon. She can't go to the bathroom and sit no more. One have a bag in the descending colon. She can either shit in the other one shit in the bathroom.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I'm telling you, man.
She move her bowels in the bag, but I know what you're saying.
And I have a very good friend who just came here. She worked for JetBlue. It's like my sister from Trinidad too. And I'm so sad because they took out the whole uterus, everything. Yeah. And I tell her, I said, do that, but come back and check me. That's what they go back again. The cancer came right back. Boom! It's in her stomach. I know we have to try to fix her because I love her so much, man, like my sister. You know what I mean? And she's paying. They give her oxycodone. You know what oxycodone does? Cause constipation. So if you constipate, you can fix no cancer. Because you're in pain.
But see, that's another thing too, right? Exactly, like when you don't know. So that's a very good point. You're constipated, and then they turn around and they give you pain medicine, and pain medicine automatically will make you constipated. So now, what do? You
gotta fix the constipation, and that's why I tell women and men, don't get cancer, prevent it. Yeah, and I create programs. So I have a program called Cancer Prevention Program. How to prevent it. It's on my website, patrickdelves.holistichealing.com. So you have to prevent the cancer. If you get cancer and you choose to take chemotherapy, I don't stop anybody because you have choices.
Right.
I will look at the chemo that you are taking, and I can educate the doctor because I do speak to a few of them. You know what I mean? And some of them is open. A lot of them I spoke to is open-minded. So, for instance, if you're taking chemotherapy, and I look at the chemo that you're taking, and I see the side effects of the chemotherapy, I will conquer the side effects. Yeah. So I protect your cells, your good cells. There is a formula called something called NAC, NAC, and glutathione, which is produced in your liver.
Okay.
When you're taking chemotherapy, we give you these 2 products. And what these 2 products do is they cause the chemo to kill the bad cells while they protect your good cells. Yeah? So, for instance, we have a patient in Canada. Shanti's Canada, right? The patient in Canada.
Yeah.
Right. She did chemotherapy and the radiation, and they put hole in her lung. Before the radiation put hole in her lung. We had to go now, and we had to plug up the holes. What the radiation did? The herb that does that. Sea moss do that. Cyprium does that. Marshmallow does that. So the doctor was surprised and said, "Well, how your lung, the hole in your lung is all clogged up." They didn't know better. We give her some sea moss and some marshmallow and some cyprium, and we plug up the holes. And then they give her more chemo. We spread to the brain.
And we heal that.
And we heal the brain too.
We fix that.
Fix your brain.
But Patrick, it comes down to the consistency, right? It also comes down to having a strong mind, because when you learn to eat a certain way, you're used to it. You want it. Oh, that tastes so good. Oh, I can't. And then what ends up happening is that you can get sick. And then there is such a thing called addiction to sugar, addiction to cheese. And so when you cannot have it anymore, you know, it's almost like you're going crazy. When you say, "Oh, I can't have it, I have it," you have to really think about why you're reacting the way that you are reacting. You know, and then also too, the foods, everything that pretty much everything out here has sugar, everything. And so then I was watching this documentary, and it talks about, well, why is it so much sugar in everything? Because they remove the fat. When they remove the fat from the foods now, it's bland.
Yep.
So now how do you make up for the blandness? You add sugar.
You add sugar. Yep. Fructose, corn sugar.
Yeah.
This sugar, mild sugar, they're all sugars. Yeah, and then again, people use lots of sodium too.
Yes.
So here's what I gotta tell people. First thing you gotta do is to eat a rainbow diet. That's like the rainbow. vegetables, different colors. That's the first thing you have to do. Eat a rainbow diet. Second thing, good fats. Use more of the good fats than the bad fats. And even when you get older, you have to look at also the good fats too. Because all the good fats are no good either when you get older too.
Right.
3, have a high nutrient diet and a low junk food diet. It's important. Yeah. And last but not least, you have to eat the foods that will make you eliminate waste regularly. Eat the foods that will help you to remove waste matter from this lower burner regularly. That is the key to good health. And you fast regularly. Every time I'm on a fast, I took a cleansing last night. I took some turkey rhubarb. I took some cascara and some buckthorn bark, and I cleaned my system out. And I ate no food for 3 days. I rested my organs. I rested my lower burner. I rested my stomach. You know, because I'm disciplined. Because you just made a statement a while ago. You said that a lot of people doesn't have the discipline. They like the sugars. They like the meat. But when you get sick, you have to make that change, man. Otherwise, that sickness is going to kill you eventually.
You have to make the change and be consistent.
Consistent, because once that cancer, I'm telling people, I tell the audience again, once a cancer get into an organ system, it's going to disrupt the function of that organ. And once that organ is disrupted, it's going to affect the other organ, because all the organs work together.
Yes.
The hepatic vein in your liver feeds your inferior vena cava deoxygenated blood to the center of the atrium, to the center of the right ventricle, send it to the carbon dioxide. And then the lung pick up oxygen, send it to the left ventricle, back to the left atrium, into the body, into blood flow, moving all the time. If you disrupt those functions of these organs, the other organs going to suffer, and they would not be able to fix the disease because they are weak. And in no way you can fix cancer if you have a weak organ. It ain't going to happen. It's common sense. If a man comes to your house, Gina, and you're weak, he going to tie you up. He going to take longer than go because you're weak. You can't fight him back. But if you're strong and you can fight him back and stuff, and you give him a hard time.
Right. That's the preparation part.
Yeah.
That's where you have to prepare the body to have the fighting chance, as you said earlier.
Yeah, that's what we said. Tonification, stimulation, blood purification. You must purify the blood. God is great. You must purify your blood.
And how do you do that?
Purify the organs.
How do you do that?
Stimulate them. You must purge. You must tranquilize. Follow me now. You must tranquilize. So, for instance, the body have how many fluids? 3 fluids, right?
Okay.
You have the lymphatic vessels, fluid.
Okay.
You have the urine, fluid. You have the blood, fluid. Water, fluid. Yeah.
Okay.
All of them have a purpose. For the lymphatic system, that's why people get lymphomas from HTLV virus, human T-cell lymphoma virus, the cancer of the lymphatic system. You have swelling on the arm, in the groin, in your neck, because that's where the vessels are. See? So there are vessels, there are fluids that flow parallel to the bloodstream. And that's where you host your macrophages and your T lymphocytes. The vessels, the fluids. Yeah. And that's the reason why the kidney and the lymphatic system work together, because they both need fluids. The kidney is the water organ, and the lymphatic system is the fluid, invested in fluid organ. Yeah, and you have the blood organ. The blood organ, the filters of the blood is the kidney and the liver and the small and intestines. They are filters of the blood. They filter the blood, and the blood is a liquid. So you have to have all the liquids, 3 of them, moving together in sync. Yeah, you must have them clean. Because the urine remove toxins. Yeah?
Right.
Follow me now. The blood also remove toxins via the lung. Yeah? The lymphatic system, vessels and fluids, remove toxins intra and ultra. So you have to have them moving all these waste matter regularly. Yeah, that's the key, you know.
Yeah, it is the key. You know, I have somebody on that said, "Oh Lord, I love meats." You see what I'm saying?
No, it's not wrong with loving meat, you know. I love meat too, and I love sloppy joe. I love lamb chops. It's not wrong with loving meat because the cow is a vegetarian now. You follow me?
Yeah.
The cow eat grass, so he's a
Yeah.
vegetarian. You understand?
Yeah.
But is the
But
amount of meat that people eat every day, and they're eating the meat at the wrong time of the day. You're not supposed to eat meat, so-called flesh food, in the night time. Period.
but what else? But what the other part though, Patrick, is what they're actually feeding some of these animals now.
Grains. How you gonna feed a cow grains? A cow supposed
With
to
this,
eat grass.
come on,
You-
they want them to
if you
produce
feed the cow
faster.
grains, the cow meat become lean. And then automatically again, I'm gonna tell meat eaters again today. When the cow or the pig or the goat is going to the slaughter, they become scared just like a human being. And in the process of being so scared of going to die, they start to release lots of adrenaline in their bloodstream. It's a poison, and that adrenaline get into the meat of these animals, and we eat them. Yeah, they eat the grass, and we eat them.
But isn't that, it's so true though? You know, I went to the fish market the other day, and I'm telling you, the fish in them, their mouth wide open, like if they were about to say something and they get killed. And I said, I can't eat that fish that looks so. You know what I'm saying? The mouth, it was scary to me. But
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. And then they're also injecting them with steroids
hormones.
and all types of stuff.
Over 1 million pounds of antibiotics and hormones in these animals. Common sense. I just saw a YouTube channel last night with a vet who went to a farm, and she removed I thought it was milk, pus from an abscess from a cow. And
Isn't
people
that
eat these
something?
foods. You see? But fish take 12 hours to digest. Beef take 18 hours to digest.
Listen, everyone.
Chicken takes 7 hours to digest. Follow? So if you eat a piece of fish at 8 o'clock in the evening time, like the restaurants sell people every day, 8 o'clock in the evening, you go stand up and eat a big piece of fish, and you buy some macaroni and cheese, and you go sit down in your living room 8 o'clock at night, and you eat that food, and you go to bed at 10 and 11. That food is still sitting in the earth system. It didn't go nowhere, and you do that for 20 years. Come on, man. And you know that fish take 12 hours to digest? So because we were taught the wrong way, we're supposed to eat proteins in the morning, not in the night.
Right.
So by the time the evening time, the proteins are gone out here. You see? So when you go to bed, you have nothing sitting in your digestive system because there's a word called breakfast.
That's right.
Not breakfast, you know. Break
fast.
You have to
That's
break
right.
the fast.
That's
so you
right.
must fast in the night time so you can break the fast in the morning.
So and then you're burning more. Your metabolism is higher in the afternoon. So you're right. So if you eat early part of the day with the meats, and you're running around and doing whatever, it's burning, and it's not sitting there. And then remember on the last time that you told us about the combination of foods. So if our bodies take so long to break down the meats and the chicken and the fish, we're still waiting for the potatoes to break down, for the vegetables to break down. And if you ate fruit after you ate your food, that's all sitting there fermenting right there. I'm telling you, I'm a student. I am a Patrick Delves student.
I like the word you just used, fermentation.
The fermentation of a student. I'm telling you. Now I have somebody here that asks, says, I have CML cancer and I'm going through a hardship. The oncologist tells me I have to take chemotherapy for the rest of my life.
Well, that's not true. That's because if somebody tell like they told me, I had a stroke. Mr. Delves, you got to take the drugs for the rest of your life. Yeah? How come? And the body's supposed to heal itself? So how come you're going to tell me I have to take Crestor and Lipitor and aspirin and Zestril and Lasix and Atenadol and Nifedipine for the rest of my life? And then my penis dead can't get hard after I take all these drugs?
That's right.
Yeah?
That's
I
not
said,
right.
no. That's a death sentence.
That's
because
right.
they know for a fact that they can only treat her cancer. They can't fix her cancer. But she had in her system antibodies, IgG, IgM, IgA, IgE, IgD. Plus she have a cell called NK cells or null cells, natural killer cells. She have a cell called cytotoxic cell. Look it up. What do? They kill cancer cells. They even kill viruses or cancer cells that was affected by a virus. Cytotoxic cells. Why do they call them cytotoxic cells, Patrick? Because they release toxins like the chemotherapy do to kill invaders. But because he, the doctor, were not taught in medical school
right
how to repair a disease, he will tell you and I that we must take a drug or chemotherapy for the rest of our life. And once the cancer gets used to the chemotherapy and it don't work again, he send you home to hospice to die.
Talk about it, Patrick. I mean, this is really real. But you know what the thing is that if we don't know the questions to ask, we don't know. And then additionally, when we do find out, we must stay the course. There is no such thing as once or twice. I have someone that says, can you stop the spread of triple negative breast cancer naturally?
Yes, but it's tough and it's expensive. Very expensive. And if the person has the BRCA gene 1, because the BRCA gene 1 is the culprit of triple negative breast cancer. So what we do is, with the BRCA gene, triple negative, we go back to the BRCA. The BRCA gene is a protector for the woman, you know. But doctors don't tell them that. Your BRCA gene is a protector from you getting breast cancer. You follow me? But when you turn that BRCA into a junk BRCA gene, 1 and 2 BRCA, then you get breast cancer long term. You get triple negative breast cancer. So what we do is, God is great. You have all the herbs on earth. What we do is we go back to the BRCA and we turn back the BRCA from a junk gene into a positive gene, whereby you know you have protection. And that is what he don't teach you all women. Follow me. And then I give you a product called angio blocker. See it right here? Periwinkle, sheep sorrel, red clover, orange peel, yeah, soursop leaf, a graviola, mistletoe, yeah. And what they do is, in this product, they shrink your tumor, but they also prevent your tumors from creating blood vessels because they have compounds called genistein and diastein. And these are the compounds in plants that prevent your cancer from creating more blood vessels so they can't feed and they die. And that is the reason why he tell you that you have to take the chemo till you die, because he don't know how to send your cells back to the resting place.
Patrick, we need 10,000, 10 million of you to help. This is, oh my goodness. It's so much.
Yeah.
It's so much.
That's why, you see, I give the information free. I don't sell it.
I know.
Because I want you and your other listeners to go and teach somebody else, because each one teach one.
That's right.
I buy the truth. I don't sell the truth. I come and I teach people, because when I look at people dying every day, I can't fix the whole world. I'm only one person. Right. So when I do my little programs, like your program here now, your listeners will say, oh my goodness, and they go and teach somebody else, because each one teach one in your community.
You hear, Patrick? That's why I said, and that's why I suggested, please let 5 people know, and tell those 5 people, tell 5 people. and tell those 5 people to tell 5 people, because this right here is applied knowledge. Oh my
See this here money? That's a nut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Riches? Your riches not supposed to be material possessions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Your riches is supposed to be life. Life is your riches, not material possessions. So my riches is not material stuff. My riches is life, you know. That's my riches. You see?
Amen.
But at the end of the day, all of us, we go and we die, no matter how much material possessions we have. We die and we go back to the earth, because that's where we're from. The earth belongs to us. We belong to the earth. You follow me? So all the cures that we need is found in the earth, because that is where we go when we die. You follow me? So a man can come and give me a chemical come from the sky to fix my troubles. That's a chemical. He take a chemical, go into a lab and make a chemical for you and I. How a chemical going to store something that is from the earth? So that's the reason why he told me I have to take the drugs till I die, because he know that the chemical can't fix me. That's why he tell you that you got to remove your breast and take out your uterus and take out all your organs, because he tell you know that he knows for a fact that his chemicals can fix you, can only treat you, but you don't know that you are the cure.
Yes.
I don't cure nobody.
Yes.
I'm the cure, and all the cures are in your midst.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes.
Don't forget, I tell you, always eat foods over the ground and eat less food under the ground.
Under the ground. You hear that, everybody? Eat more food above ground and less food underground. Okay, listen, this is invaluable. Absolutely invaluable. I'm telling you what Patrick said. I said, Patrick, you coming back? He said, okay, next week, Wednesday. And I posted it up and folks said to me, oh, Patrick's coming back already? I said, yes, because there's a lot of healing that needs to be done in the world, not just with our bodies, but with our minds, in terms of the way that we think, in terms of the way that we've been taught to eat, in terms of the way that we still continue to eat. And that's not the way. You hear what Patrick is telling you. You really and truly, in order to give yourself a fighting chance, you must change the way that you do what you do. You must detox. I detox every 4 months. It is imperative. And then as far as cleansing, of course, I cleanse more than I detox, but you must give your body, you must give your organs a rest.
Yes, you have to rest your organs.
Yeah.
You know, if a person's a believer, if they believe in scriptures, all the prophets fast from Moses to Jesus.
Okay.
And they fast for spiritual, mental, and physical rejuvenation. I learned that. And if you want to fast, I mean, you have to start. I always tell people every week, put away 1 day to fast and drink only water and teas and coconut water. And then every 6 weeks, you do a 3-day, a 5-day cleansing and detoxification. And every 3 months, go in and clean your liver, because that liver, that organ is the most amazing organ in the body. And that is what we're going to talk about tonight. The liver in harmony and disease at 8 o'clock right here at Ambrosia tonight. Live.
You see that, Patrick? We talking about Patrick. Be talking about the liver tonight. I'm telling you, always important. Always important. He's definitely coming back. I'm not letting Patrick out of my friend zone. Patrick is my friend. And because Patrick is my friend, I have introduced him to all of you who did not know Patrick, and now he has become our friend.
Yes.
It was so great.
Ambrosia Health Foods.
Okay, that's how to reach.
We
have some folks asking.
Yeah, the website there.
AmbrosiaHealthFoods.com.
Yeah,
the telephone number is
718-469-0985. Yeah.
718-469. Yes.
HolisticHealing.com. We have all. This is for the lung and the heart and the kidney and the spleen meridian. Chinese. See, I created all these products, and then we have one for the liver. We're going to talk about that tonight. Liver and skin. If you have eczema, psoriasis, hives, liver troubles, and all the enzymes, the corpuscles, protect your liver. And this is the boss right here, the bestseller, called Angioblockers. It block your cancer cells from creating blood vessels so they can't feed, so they just shrink. shrink fibroids, shrink cysts on the pituitary gland. Is the boss because you know what? It comes from the earth.
You see that?
And then
People say they don't know.
the lymphatic system. You want to do lymphatic drainage? You can drain your lymphatic system regularly, and you will stay healthy. And always can be found in Ambrosia Health Food Stores.
You see what I mean? You know, Patrick, I'm coming to see you.
Come, Chantel. Look, Chantel.
You already know Ashanti.
Come on, look, Chantel right here, man. That's the man right there.
Another great guy. Ashanti knows, yes. So if you have any questions when you go to Ambrosia, Ashanti is the guy. He will definitely help you out. Patrick, I am coming to see you. Yes. Everybody who did not know, you now can say that you know. And I'm telling you, please, I encourage you to view this video over and over and over. Share the video. A lot of information has been shared. Patrick, please follow him on Patrick Delves on Facebook.
Yeah, and
Patrick Delves on Facebook, right? Yeah. And that's where you will be able to follow him with his live. With me, you can join me on Talk with Gina on Facebook, and then on Instagram, I'm Talk with Gina. So if you join on Facebook, you'll see all of the great guests I'll have. You'll know in advance when Patrick is coming on. I know he's got some folks that he has to tend to right now. But Patrick, thank you so much.
Yes, Gina, thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
You coming back?
Yeah, definitely. And we're having a big retreat in Grenada on the 3rd of May to the 13th of May.
You hear that, everybody? The 3rd to the 13th.
Yeah, 3rd to the 13th of May, we have a retreat in Grenada. And then we're having a big seminar in Atlanta and one in Houston, Texas. And then we're going to St. Lucia. We're going to Trinidad. We're going to Antigua to meet the Prime Minister. We're going to get a hold of the Caribbean well.
Wow, well, when you go to Antigua, for sure, you know, I'm booking my flight. You know, that's where I'm from. So I'm booking my flight. I'm going home, and I will be there with you in Antigua when you're in Antigua.
And so come and get some products, you know. And then we have, if you go to the website, Patrick Delves, holistichealing.com, we have free program there. Not everything is for sale, you know. We have a BioLife program that will teach you how to eat the food together. It's called a BioLife program. You can download that for free. Yeah. Then we have a diabetic program to fix diabetes. If you have type 2 diabetes, it's $1. And we have a cancer prevention program. We have all types of programs on the website. You could go to the website and look at the programs and decide if you want to do the program. We have one for women only. Women who have ovarian cancer, breast cancer, uterine cancer, cervical cancer, and fibroid and PCOS. That program works well for women who even want to get pregnant also. They're all on the website. So you can go and look at the website, okay? Yeah?
Look at that. Wonderful. Free of charge. He's just spreading the knowledge because he's anointed. And that's what he was sent here to do, to help others. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Yes, I love
thank you. Thank you all for joining us. This has been absolutely a great session. Remember to share. Please subscribe to the channel, my channel, Talk with Gina on YouTube. I can't thank you all enough. I cannot. And I cannot thank you either enough, Patrick. So you take care of yourself, all right? I'm going to let Patrick go right now. The phones are ringing off the hook for Patrick.
Yes. But don't forget, it is always imperative to deal with prevention than to get the disease. Forget that. Yeah?
Remember that, everyone. Yes. Remember that. Peace and love, Patrick. Thank you so much again. Okay?
Peace and love. Okay.
I'll speak to you soon.
All right,
okay.
bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. As I asked, please, hit on that subscribe button. Please share it with others, what we discussed today, because we really want to help everyone. I know it's not easy, when you get on a plan, the detox and everything else, but you have to do it. You must give yourself a fighting chance. Exactly what Patrick was saying. You know what I mean? So when people think about Mike Tyson, throw a harder punch than Mike Tyson. And the only way you're going to be able to do that with your organs is if you prepare them. I love you all. I have another great guest coming next week. Please remember, share this video. It's been my absolute pleasure to see all of you again. And I thank you all. I told you it's all about mad love. And I make sure that I bring some great guests for you, right? So that we can all learn. Isn't that something? All right.